I just came in. Thank you. Uh, this is a video I want to make, and I'll get right to the point. There's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today. One of those things is kind of a local issue. For those that don't know me and haven't watched some of my videos, what I'd like to point out is that I'm an animal advocate, longtime animal advocate, rescuer. In fact, I own a rescue in Mount Hermon, Louisiana. Yeah, it's in a rural area, rural country area. And we have about 7 acres here with many different types of animals. And I do have a video on that. If you want to go through the videos, it's Mark's Animal Farm. It shows you our rescue in general and animals that we have and what we do. The other thing is that I'm also a published author. I have written 14 books all on animals. And we'll get to that in a second because a couple of those books I'd like to point out to some of my audience that may be interested in. But let me get back to my issue that I have, and it's an issue within my local area. I live in a rural parish in Louisiana, Washington Parish, and I have been rescuing here for about 6 years before I moved here from Miami, Florida. I also had a rescue in Miami, Florida. But anyway, in Mount Hermon, Louisiana, I live in a country area, and during my rescue times, we have taken in a lot of animals. We have taken in a lot of puppies, you name it, farm animals, dogs, and lots of puppies that people have dropped off on our country roads. In fact, most of my rescues of those that people have called me and said, there's puppies here, there's a dog here, all have been discarded and dropped off by someone. We now have a new sheriff. Before this, I worked as a part-time reserve deputy, wanting to work and take care of animal issues. We now have a new sheriff, and I just saw on the website, and I bring this up only because of the fact that people continue to call me all the time about rescuing, about animal issues, and what have you. Well, in Washington, at this present time, I no longer rescue. I have many animals that I'm unable to find homes for, beautiful animals, and I'm no longer able to rescue any more of the animals off of the roadway. And I have lots of people still trying to bring animals to me. I will let you know, if you're a Washington Parish resident, please don't do that. I do not take animals anymore, nor do I go out and rescue, and nor do I go out and do and see about animal calls. Please direct your calls to the Sheriff's Office. There is a place on the Washington Parish Sheriff's Office website that you can fill out and give them your information and the animal that you have and what have you. And that would be the thing to do, because we did not have that before, but we do now. Now I don't know how that works. I haven't used it. I did notice it, that it's on the sheriff's website, the new sheriff's website. So I would tell those in Washington Parish, any issues that you have in animals, please use the website and fill out the appropriate information for that. And hopefully they'll investigate all those incidents and take care of that. I don't investigate. People look at me because I have done a lot of investigation with animal services here in Washington Parish. I have rescued a number of animals. I have investigated a number of incidences. But my investigation is not law enforcement anymore. My investigation is a social media issue. If you have an animal issue, then you need to take that up with the sheriff's office, because at this point in time, we have in this parish We don't have an animal control officer. What we do have is our sheriff department, and so anyway, you need to make your issues known to them. Now, what I do is, if you're not satisfied with the investigation that the sheriff's office does, then I suggest that you go to that deputy's his boss per se, or the leader of I can't even think of the right word right now. But anyway, a supervisor. Thank you, supervisor. I'm lost for words here. Supervisor, and let him know that you were not satisfied with the investigation that actually took place. And if you still don't get the satisfaction, then you go to the leader, which is the sheriff. And if you feel like nothing's been done, then that's the only time that someone like me, which is the news media, I'm an independent journalist, do social media news, and I put that on my websites, which I have my website, my YouTube channel, Pet News USA, and Pawsitive Personals. Now, with that said, I'm done with that subject. I will go to another subject. I have written about 14 books. I continue to write because I like to write, and I want to give as much or impart as much information as I can to people to help animals. You know, my whole thing is about animals. I'm a very passionate person about animals, have been for a long time. Anybody that knows me knows how passionate I am about animals. So I have, all of my books are about animals. My website is all about animals and what have you. So one of the new books that I had put out, and I've put out several, but this is an educational book. If you're considering, and you're already fighting for animals one way or another, if you're a rescuer or in some way you're fighting for animal rights and what have you, I wrote a book with a lot of information on it, and it's an animal advocate. It's a handbook of being an animal advocate. And if you're interested in truly being an animal advocate and getting good information and what you need to do and how you need to go about it, I think you'll find the book is packed with a lot of good information that will help you in your delivery of helping animals and working with other people. So if you're interested, you can go to my website. Is Pawsitive, PAWSITIVE, personals.com, and on that website you can go to ebooks, order my ebooks, and it'll take you right to the ebook. Look for the Animal Advocate book. There's 13, 14 other books, but you can look for the Animal Advocate book and get it. Now, I made all of my books. I made ebooks because I wanted to charge a very nominal fee. All my ebooks are $2.99. I'm not here to make money. I'm here to impart information to people so that they can help animals. My whole thing is never about making money. It's always about helping animals. That's why I do the YouTube channel. Like I have 90 plus YouTube videos that hopefully that you'll subscribe to. Pawsitive Personals, and I hope that you would go and subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of great information. I have anything from care to pet tips to emergencies for animals. You name it, I got it. And people say, well, I did write a couple of books on emergency care and some pet tips and things like that. And say, well, he must be a doctor, an animal vet. I'm not an animal vet. I am not a veterinarian whatsoever. That's a double term there. I'm sorry. It's veterinarian. I'm not a veterinarian. I am an animal advocate. I have been dealing with animals for on a almost a full-time basis for about 10 years. I I don't say I enjoy it. It brings me some satisfaction that I've been able to help a lot of animals. On the other thing is that being a rescuer or dealing with any animal issues, you're going to find that this is a very heartbreaking thing to do. I mean, I will tell people right up front that there's many nights that I've gone to bed and cried and could not sleep, and the things that I've seen, and I don't put that on my website. I don't put that on my YouTube channels. All of the horrific pictures and videos that I've encountered, it's just I can't even hardly look at it. I have to deal with it sometimes, but I don't put it on my website, and I don't want people to be shocked, by these horrific things. I do want you to know that it goes on, and we don't do enough. We just don't do enough to help animals. I don't know what has happened to our country or even our world where we mistreat animals and abuse them so badly. The other thing while I'm talking about that is that, and I've said this before in my other videos, that law enforcement for the most part, animals are invisible to them. It's never a priority. I don't know if it's ever going to be a priority. So, as citizens in a parish or a county that sees animal abuse, what I can tell you to do is that when you report an animal case that you see, you make sure, because in my own experiences and in my opinion, and the law enforcement just doesn't do anything. They don't. So I would tell you, anytime you contact law enforcement, you get a case number, or they call file number, or whatever it is, but you make sure that you get a number so that can be followed up on. You never know when a news media like myself will follow up on that, because if someone in my parish, say, is not satisfied, then I can go and pull that number. You tell me what the number is, I can go pull, it's public record, and I can investigate, well, what has happened to the animal? Y'all made the complaint, what has happened to the animal? Those are things that I do. I don't do. People call me for initial calls and what have you, but I don't do that. But anyway, if you're interested in being an animal advocate, I think that you'll find the book is extremely very interesting. There's another book that I wrote. It is on animal investigations, and it's a comprehensive book about animal abuse investigations. If you're interested in doing that, if you're working in any type of animal services whether you're a shelter manager or even volunteering at a shelter, an animal control officer, this book would be excellent. There's so many, and I will say law enforcement, both sheriff deputies and police officers, that have a real lack of dealing with animal abuse cases, and many times, if not 100%, they have no training. And the training for animal abuse investigations is totally different from investigating criminal activity that people are involved in. And one of the things, again, I will repeat as I did one time in another video, is that when you go to court, you may have someone who's going to testify. You have a witness that's able to testify about what happened. When you investigate animal cruelty, you don't have a witness. There's no witness. So that means that everything is different. And when you go to an animal abuse case, I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that has to be collected and preserved is evidence. And I will guarantee you, again, in my opinion, that police officers and sheriff deputies don't have an idea, don't have any clue about what it takes to investigate animal abuse. And I would hope that our sheriffs and our chief of police, if any of them hear this, would actually get my book. It's online. And I only charge $9.90. I think it's $9.95 or $9.99. I don't remember, but it covers a lot of great information that would be very beneficial to that law enforcement officer. You know, it's something that I wish and I hope that things change. I'm always hoping, but I've been doing this for years and I haven't seen any major changes in any of our law enforcement departments. Now, I will say again, and I've said this before, that there are some locales, cities that do have animal police officers that are devoted to animal abuse investigations, and thank the good Lord for them. But for the most part, we have sheriffs out there and we have chief of police. That's not a priority. You know, and I'm going to continue to, every time I make a video, I'm probably going to bring this up. So if you're interested in animal abuse investigations, please go to my website, Pawsitive, Pawsitive, Personals. You can go on the website and you can, and I'll leave that a description in the at the bottom when I complete this video. I will leave the description in there and you can look it up. But I hope that you would take enough interest in maybe taking the course, because I guarantee you, you are going to learn a lot and you're going to be surprised about what it takes to investigate animal abuse. I'm going to let that be my my video today, and I'm going to say thank you, and I hope what I say you take to heart, and you may make some changes, and I hope that you do, because it's going to take us to make changes. Our local government, law enforcement, I just don't see that happening. So it's going to take us, residents of our parishes, counties, to do that. Let me mention one more thing, and I will let this go. If you're curious about how to make a complaint, I've also got a video on the right way to make a complaint to law enforcement so that things get done. And it details everything that you need to do as a citizen to make a complaint, and so that our law enforcement department pretty much has to at least investigate the concern. Thank you.